Welcome to my LinkedIn Live series. We have a saying in Chinese. Please feel free to share in the chat window where you are watching from. And anytime during my sharing, I would love to hear from you, how you resonate, what do you think? Do you agree, or maybe you disagree, or maybe you have something else you want to share with us, how you resonate. And if you have any questions, I would love to hear from you. And that's why we're here with LinkedIn live stream, so we can have this real-time interaction, right? So for the people who's first time watching this, my name is XIAO-YU. I am a leadership and intercultural transition coach and business consultant. You may find more details about my work on my LinkedIn profile or on my website. So to our topic today, we have a saying in Chinese. This is a series of LinkedIn live streaming I'm doing here. Every Thursday, 5 p.m. Central Europe time, I come up live here to share one Chinese saying. So my goal here is to share my Chinese language, my culture, and also a bit of wisdom behind, together with some of my reflections or thoughts which resonate with that Chinese saying of the week. The reason I have this idea because many times these Chinese sayings or phrases may come from hundreds, thousands years ago, or from generations ago, right? But somehow very interesting, they still apply and quite make a lot of sense, even until nowadays when we apply to our work or life nowadays. So I thought it could be interesting to share with you. And the last but the most important thing before we go in the topic today is if you would love to come in to share your favorite Chinese saying and how it inspired you, let's talk. I would love to invite you to join me as a guest speaker to come and share your stories and your insights with Chinese saying. With all being said, let's talk about our Chinese phrase today. The saying is 退一步海阔天空. Literal translation is one step back opens up the wide space like the ocean, the sea, and the sky. So here, look at the character, the 退. 退 is the verb, means stepping back, move back. 一 is one. 步 is step, so 一步 is one step. 海 is ocean, a sea. 阔 is the adjective to say like a wide or very broad open space. 天 is sky. And the 空, usually 空 we understand like empty, but here 空 means limitless or endless, like you don't see the border, like the open sky. So 退一步海阔天空. One step back opens up the wide open space, like the ocean and the sky. Usually this phrase refers to you can step out of your undesired situation, or walk away from the conflict with people in order to have this harmony or this peace, or sometimes in order to come to more realization, or in order to open up more opportunities or resolutions, right? So when you step back, your vision opens up. So that's about the saying. And let me see here. We have Nicholas from Germany. Good to see you, Nicholas. And earlier we had Han, he said hi, and also Pedro, he left a message before. Also he said hi and in Chinese. Yeah, very impressive. Good to see you, Pedro. So about this saying 退一步海阔天空, two things I want to point out before we start sharing the reflection. The first thing, this one step back is not about avoiding or withdraw or tolerate the feeling, or like we say, to bury our head in the sand. It is about making a conscious choice to step back, to move back. So you reach your inner peace, or could be you create the harmony with the counterpart or the situation. Also could be when stepping back, we can slow down to think, to allow ourselves into this wider space. Or we have a better view because like a step back, bigger, wider space. So we have a better view of the overall situation instead of only focus on this one specific conflict. And the second thing I want to emphasize here about the saying is the wide open space that you are stepping back into is not necessarily the place you will stay in there or settle in there forever. In some cases, maybe when you step back, you realize, that's the place, it's okay to stay. But also some cases, this space is like a buffer zone. It's like a transition phase before you leap into your desired space, or you reach your desired outcome, or you go into your desired conscious solution, the strategy. So that's about the wider space. It's like a buffer zone here. So that's the saying I have. Let me see. Yeah, I see Beto. So Beto is from Portugal, and to teach football. Yeah, I see you are a football coach. Also a coach, so but another different kind of a coach here, right? You lived in Shanghai. Cool. Yeah, and Chinese, and very good. And like before I mentioned to you, Pedro, if anytime you would love to come in, join me as a guest speaker, let's talk. Awesome. So let me continue. So back to our saying, 退一步海阔天空. Today I want to talk about how stepping back can help us shift from reacting to responding, and also how it may help with our conflict resolution. So imagine this: when someone or something triggers us or push our button, it is really natural and really normal. We may have strong emotions to arise, and in many cases it could be like a negative emotions, right? Undesirable emotions. And in that moment, we tend to perceive the situation or the person as a conflict or something like a confrontation, a fight, a challenge, right? The thing is, our further thinking and further even action behaviors that we carry on under this pressure usually turn us into the fight or flight mode, because it is not comfortable. We don't want to stay in that situation and the pressure. And so we try to move fast to get out of this, to win over this, or to survive through this by reacting, because we didn't think. We just like, I need to get out of this. How can I survive from this? The thing is, and then we don't have time, or we don't spend time to think about it, to really make a conscious choice. In this case, when we talk about how to step back, right? Very simple one, take a pause before you say anything, or before you continue to develop your even thinking. Take a pause or take a deep breath, and to really ask yourself how emotionally reactive I am now to this situation. What could be my button, the interpretation or my assumption, my understanding of the situation that upset me? What could be that? And then what it is really going on here, aside from my interpretation, what could be other interpretations? And then what can I do to shift, to resolve the situation, instead of say to resolve the conflict, to win, to fight? So here, the stepping back start with raising your awareness of the trigger that you have, so you can break your reactive pattern and choose to how to respond consciously, rather than simply reacting unconsciously with your emotion. So that's about reacting and responding. Let me see the chat window here. We have Yao here. Good to see you again, Yao. Hello from Munich, and also earlier Nicholas from Germany. Yeah, so that's about the reacting and the responding. And when we talk about this, it's naturally connect to the conflict, right? The conflict resolution, because when we perceive something as a conflict, a confrontation, that's usually many times triggers us, push our button. And so here, like I mentioned earlier, the stepping back is not about tolerate. It's not about bury your feelings, say, so I can move on, so I can get over this because I have to go right? Reach something, do something. Because we all know we cannot keep tolerating or hiding from the reality, or hiding our feeling to bury the feeling, because one day it's going to break out. The energy is either in or out. Right. And this is really applied to either like individual level, like sometimes even some conflict we create within ourselves. We have the inner voice, inner critics, right? Or sometimes could be in relationship, in personal relationship, or in a professional relationship, in the team, in a group of people, in a company and organization. We all may have this kind of conflict situation, right? So when we face the conflict, let's say, or we should say when we perceive the situation or the person as a conflict, the thing is we already in our mindset, we already put a judgment or put a sentence on the situation that you are against me. You are a conflict here. So with this lens or the filter we put on, we are going to narrow down the choices or the strategies we see because we are focused on the against part, the conflict part. We need to survive. We need to win over this situation. And here, the meaning or the purpose of stepping back is more about prepare yourself for the greater leap into your desired direction. Remember, in the beginning, I said the space, wider space we're stepping back into, it's like a buffer zone because it's not about you are going to stuck in there. It's like a buffer zone where you allow yourself to really think about where you're heading, and then you can move forward. So here I have two keywords. First one is the preparation. The buffer zone, this is the space for making a conscious choice. It's something going on in your head. So what I'm trying to think about really exactly what am I trying to get out of the situation or the person, what I really want from all this. I'm talking about the layer after the conflict is resolved. So a simple question. So what if the conflict is resolved by itself? What's next? And that's actually the goal of the conflict situation resolution. Because the goal is not about the conflict itself. The goal or our focus is about after the resolve, where we're heading over, right? So that's the preparation. And the second keyword is the greater leap. The greater leap is after you have this space, you think about it. It's time to take action. It's time to make an efficient strategy which aligned with your goal or your belief or your values, and which will open up much more possibilities because that's something you ponder on, you already think about it, thought about it. Instead of winning or surviving through this situation, how can we benefit from the conflict, right? How can we even reach like a win-win with this within the situation or within the person? Or even how can we expand this winning to other people who has nothing to do with the situation? Because that's the wider space we're stepping into. Even sometimes this space is not only for ourselves, but for everyone. So a step back is actually for another greater step further. So with that, I also come to the end of my sharing today. Let me know, let me see the chat window. How is everyone resonate and what do you think? Let me see. So I see Beto, he said, I'm Portuguese native, but also speak English, Spanish, Chinese. And hola, ¿cómo estás? Yeah, I speak a little bit Spanish. Chinese level medium. So I assume you also study the HSK and things, right? Live in Shanghai and stay 4 years in Shanghai. Yeah, the pandemic make you return back to Europe. So I hope you are enjoying life in Europe, especially now the weather is lovely. And I see, hope I say your name correctly. Monise. Yeah, I need to check your profile later to see how to say your name. Hello from Casablanca. Cool, great to see you here. And let me see, we have Nicholas. So Nicholas has a question here. When facing a time-sensitive situation, while I'm stepping back and thinking, what if the other person takes advantage of this and make their step further? That's a good question, Nicholas. Thank you for the question. I would say, so earlier when I talk about this stepping back, It's actually more about the mindset. If you think about it, right? It's more about the mindset. You give it like a conscious choice, not to perceive the situation as a conflict, to focus on the surviving. It's about give yourself, owner yourself a space and the time to think about it before you make the step further. And this stepping back action actually could be the stepping back time, could be very long or could be very short, depends on what kind of situation you are in. So for sure, so it is more about being aware of your emotion. So you won't react under the stress, you will respond consciously. So in your case, in your question's case, you definitely want to make a call on how urgent it is, the situation, before like you really pondering on this situation to give it further thought or something. You want to think about, okay, how urgent it is, what could be the timeline here, what could be the deadline. And even so, it's more about shift the mindset, and the mindset shift could happen like over just like a blink, or it could be take hours, days, months, right? But with your question, I would say definitely you want to be aware and cautious about the timing. Yeah, I hope that answers your question, Nicholas. Let me know in the chat window, what do you think? And Balloon say, yeah, you like study Chinese and the Chinese culture. Yeah, yeah, because many times the Chinese culture, oh, that's also exactly I shared in the beginning about these sayings that passed down through the generations. Like this one today is not like originally from Confucius or from like some period of time, but it's really just, even I have no idea since when we have this saying, right? But really through the generations, this wisdom people gained, all the insights that people accumulated through the years, over the generations. Yeah. Okay, let me see. So Nicholas, great answer. Thank you. Thank you, Nicholas. Great question. Awesome. I think with that also bring us to the end of my sharing today. Thank you very much for being here, join my LinkedIn live stream series. We have a saying in Chinese. And so every Thursday I will come here live on LinkedIn Central Europe time, 5 p.m. Thursday. If you cannot make it on time, make sure sign up the events, because we are going to have playback available afterwards. So hopefully to see you around, and don't be shy to say hi if you love to join me as a guest speaker in the future episode. All right, thank you everyone for being here. I can see Jennifer. Hi, Jennifer. Lovely, it's great job. I missed the beginning, so I'm going to watch the replay, but it's, yeah, true, you are in Japan now. So have a good night. And let me know how you think, what do you think about my saying? Yeah, I would love to hear from you. We should catch up soon. Cool, thank you everyone. I will see you next week.